how much money do you really need to travel the world? Stay with me until the end of this video, because this is going to clear your head about how, when, and where you want to travel, how to do it, how to plan your trips ahead. How much money do you really need to travel the world? So before we get started, I assume that you have already watched my 2 previous videos about how to travel the world, because I have talked about how to travel the world on a budget and how to travel the world in 2 ways, because anyone can do it. Anyone can travel the world. Before you get started saying, oh, I don't have money and where will I find the money and I don't have the time to travel, I have covered all of that in these 2 videos. So if you haven't watched these videos, I will link them down in the description of the video. The first one is how to travel the world on a budget. Go ahead and watch this one first, and then watch how anyone can travel the world in 2 ways that I described in this video. So after you watch this video, this is going to be helpful if you chose the second way. If you're working on and off and you're gonna take a pause, a huge break from work, and dedicate that time, whether it's going to be a year or 2 years or even 3 years, to travel the world. So this is going to be really helpful if you chose that second way. But also keep that in mind, that you don't need, when we say traveling the world, we don't necessarily mean that you have to go to every single place, every single country, every single city, every place in the world, because you might not want to go in every place out there and you may not like that. And I assume that I'm talking to adults right now. I assume that you are an adult that you're watching this video, so you know by now what you want and what you don't want in life, what you like and what you don't like. You know your preferences, right? So imagine, like, if a friend tells you, oh, do you want to go to this nightclub? It has this vibe, this type of music, this type of crowd. And you know, you've been to so many different nightclubs, and you know that the specific type of nightclub, although you've never been there, is not your vibe, is not your type. And you know that you won't like it before you go there. And that friend says, like, but how do you know? You've never been there. Give it a try. Maybe you like it. But you know what you like, and you know that you don't like this music, you don't like the vibe, etc. So you say, okay, let's go. Let's give it a chance. And guess what? You didn't like that because you know what you like and what you don't like, if that makes sense. So the same happens with destinations. So in my channel, I talk about party traveling, party destinations, nightlife, nightclubs, because this is the type of traveling that I have been doing for the last 15 years. I always travel for partying, for nightlife, for food, for fine dining, for luxury places. But these rules, these techniques that I'm going to describe in this video apply to every type of traveling. If you're traveling for food, for history, for monuments, whatever you're looking for, you can apply the same techniques, the same methods that I describe in all of my videos to your type of traveler, whatever that might be. Okay, so let's get started. So let's say that you have the money, you have saved some money, or you're working, you're currently working. So this is the first way that you can travel the world. Or you have decided to take a year off or some time off, whatever that might be, to go to some certain places that you want to go to. Again, not every place of the world is for us, for what you're looking for. So you have 1, 2, 3, 20, 50, 100 places that you want to see before you die, and you decide to do it right now. So you try to see how much money will you need to do that. So what I do is I create an Excel sheet. You can do it whatever you want, or you can take a piece of paper if you're old school, and you're gonna write down every single city and destination you want to travel to. And then you're gonna be very specific. Like nowadays, you have it all. You have technology, you have the internet, you have YouTube. When I started traveling 15 years ago, travel blogs, travel vlogs, travel vloggers, traveling, vlogging, and traveling the world, and social media actually weren't even a thing. YouTube wasn't even a thing. We didn't have much information. I used to go out there, go traveling, without knowing what to do, where to eat, what kind of transportation will I need. I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a smartphone. So this is so easy for you. And why I said that? Because it has to do with budget. Because you can see how much the taxi rates are, how much will it cost you to have that type of food, how much will you have to pay for the tickets, for hotels, for food, for everything, for entertainment. You will find everything online, every single information. So take your time, because this requires research. You have to do research. Don't skip this. If you want to see the budget, how much actually is to travel the world, you have to do research. You have to find these pieces of information. And the next columns, so the first column is the city or the place you want to visit, every single place. And the second column is going to be very specific from this point on. You're going to have a column for food, and you have to calculate whatever you eat in a day. For example, in another video, I have talked about how booking a hotel with a breakfast buffet, is going to save you 2 meals. Like if you're a big eater like me and you want 3 or 4 meals per day, this is a lot of money when you're traveling. However, if you book a hotel that has breakfast or lunch or brunch, whatever included, you save 2 meals. So this is huge. You only have to pay for dinner, so you can calculate the expenses more easily this way. And then you'll have another column for transportation, flights, hotels, clubs, tickets, shows, whatever you do on your vacation. Even transportation, even the bus. If you take the bus, how many times you're going to use the bus, the taxi, the Uber, whatever that might be. You want to be very specific. You want to plan your trips ahead. It's actually like planning what you're going to do each and every day. If you don't care about money and you're not on a budget, yes, you won't have to do that. But we're talking about if you want to find a number, if you want to see that number, you have to be very specific, and you're going to have to do the research. So at the end of the day, from my experience, what I've noticed, and we're talking about not luxury vacation, but not on a budget. If we say like the average vacation for a year, it's about $100,000, and in some cases up to $150,000. So I assume that this is the average, maybe less, because I like fine dining and some shows, so maybe it goes up a little bit. So I assume that you're gonna have $100,000 or less than that for a year to travel the world, to go to every single place that you want to. And before you freak out, and because it sounds like a lot of money, like a good amount of money, if you consider that this is your dream, this is all the places that you want to go to, every single trip, all these flights, the hotels, it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money at all. And if you see the other videos that I've made, how to travel on a budget, and the 2 ways to do that, you will see that that's nothing. You can do that. But it's very important to know that specific number. Again, you might be more or less, let's say it's $80,000. Yes, it might be 90 in some cases if we're talking about a year, because the more you extend your vacation in time, the more you lose accuracy, if that makes sense. Because if you plan your vacation for a week, you know exactly what you're going to spend. If you plan your vacation for a month, then again, you have some sort of control to your finances. If you plan for a whole year, this is getting harder. But if you plan for 2 years or more, as you can understand, this is much harder. But in this way, if you create that Excel sheet and you do the research for every single thing you spend money on while you're on vacation, you're gonna be very close to that specific amount that you have to pay to travel the world. So let me know if that worked for you, and I will see you in the next video.